Welcome, everyone. Another market blitz here. We got a lot to go over. We'll cover gold, cover Aussie, we'll cover CAD, cover some crosses. We'll dive into some other trades. We did have the ECB interest rate. They cut rates. We got non-farm payrolls tomorrow, and we got Fed fund rate on next Wednesday. So we got a lot of news on deck. It shouldn't affect higher time frame traders, but we'll get into the lower time frame stuff, especially on CAD. Let's get started. Risk disclaimer, read it over. And if you didn't check out the parabolic SAR video I put out, this will just help you count the Elliott wave corrective structures a little easily using the parabolic SAR. So when I'm talking about a 1, 3, 5, 7 swing sequence, you'll kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about, how we trade, trades we look for, and all that kind of stuff. There will be a lot more parts to this, so they'll be coming out soon. Let's get started. So we'll start off here on gold. I got quarterly pivots on because you can see, right, we're getting a buy setup. Technically, is this a buy setup? It is, right? Technically, you're getting a buy setup. It's potentially a double bottom here off the 34. Drop down to the 4 hour. It's a double bottom off the 4 hour 200, right? Technically, it's a buy setup. Could we run to the 1618 or the 2618? And right, we could. So, and keep in mind, I'm on gold futures. So if you're trading, I don't know, what is it on TradingView, XAU, whatever. If you're trading that, your chart's probably going to look a little different. If you're trading GLD, it's going to look a little different. I'm on gold futures August contract, so futures is what I trade, so this is the chart I go off of. So some of these structures I'm drawing may not make sense on your chart, but you are running into a 100 up here. All right, so we do have the potential for this to be all your correction, and you're rolling over, and you're making a zigzag correction down to your quarterly midpoint, and you also have your daily 89 down there. All right, so what I'm looking, I don't like taking buy setups while I'm up against these quarterly pivots like this that's already ran like this, especially when we have a major double top with divergence, right? So we've got a major double top up here with a lot of divergence on two higher time frames, right? You've got divergence here on the 3-day chart, major divergent double top, and we also have divergence on the weekly chart. So I'll zoom in. You can see this major divergence between this top and this top coming off your quarterly R2, and I would expect to move down at this point, right? So, but that being said, we have a buy setup on the higher time frame running into the 100. So what do you want to see to sell? And it's pretty simple. You're going to want to see a bearish engulfing daily candle like this. All right, if we get a bearish daily engulfing candle like that, that is a sell setup, and you'd be looking for a move down to your daily 89 at that point for a zigzag correction. All right, and if we get this tomorrow, there's a good chance that you will be in a correction until the end of June, right? And we just make like a WXY structure. It would kind of look something like this. All right, you make a WXY structure coming into the month of July, and typically the month of July is very bullish for silver and gold. So if we do start correcting right here, chances are we'll correct the rest of the quarter, have some kind of a WXY structure coming into the month of July, and then now we have a new playground to work with. All right, we'll have a new playground at that point. If we rally up now and we go, I'm okay if I miss this trade, right? And I'll just wait until next quarter when I have a new playground to work with, when I have a new playground to work with to start trading this thing again. That's just how I do it. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's the way I do it. It's the way I'm wired to trade, right? Especially coming off divergence. So I'm not interested in this buy. It could go. If it goes, I'm fine if I miss it. I would much rather wait for the WXY structure and buy next quarter's midpoint down at the completion of a Y wave for an impulse up to our quarterly R2. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on gold. Nasdaq, you're gonna hit your quarterly R1. That's probably a given, and that's about 300 pips above you. So look for about a $300 rally in gold tomorrow. I mean, it might come tomorrow, could come tomorrow. So you're looking to hit that quarterly R1 at some point. You're not gonna get this close and not hit it. What else do we got? We'll cover CAD, all right? Because let me clear all this off. Yesterday, we were coming into this low, and it was a nice buying opportunity. You're back down there again. So is this a flat correction? Is it a 1 hour double bottom off the 200 potential ABC flat correction? So, right, what are you still holding this 1 hour trade from yesterday? If you are, you're sitting at break even right now. And then here's where trading the 1 hour chart gets tough, because when you're trading the 1 hour chart, the highs and lows of your 1 hour chart can be taken out very easily by something like NFP tomorrow, right? The ATR of NFP is bigger than the high and low swings on your 1 hour chart. So if you were trying to trade this thing on the 1 hour chart, and let's just say you took a 1 hour 3200B trade down here and you bought the close of the 8, right? There's your risk. And that's if you bought this candle, right? So that's your risk. There's no way you're going to be able to hold that going into NFP when you could get a spike down like this for NFP, right? So trying to hold a 1 hour trade through a news event just doesn't work out if you're managing risk correctly. Now, it doesn't affect you as much on the daily chart. So, and 4 hour chart, you can even get stung a little bit. But if we get a 4 hour close above the 8, if we get a 4 hour engulfing close, that's a buy entry. All right. And you don't want to see it close below here. All right. So, and you would have to give it some room just in case you got like a 4 hour candle that kind of looked like that tomorrow. Right. So, if you got a 4 hour candle that looked like that tomorrow during NFP, then you'd be taken out of the trade. So, that is how I would play CAD. You're sitting at break even if you entered this thing on yesterday's entry, and you're waiting for, you can shut the trade down now and wait for another signal, or you're just holding, right, hoping you get a reaction off of this 200, and then you wouldn't want to see a close below this level. All right, once we have the double bottom off the 200 and we have a potential ABC, you want to see this thing go. So, but there is a chance here when we step out to the daily chart, they could still run this thing down one more to the daily 200, all right, and the midpoint. Kind of give us something like that, and then we get a bullish engulfing candle like this. So they still got some traders trapped up here that were buying the news spike, right, hoping it would go up on the fact that CAD cut rates, and they could run it down just to stop everybody out, and then they wind up taking the market up in the direction they thought it was going to go anyway, only they don't have no money to buy because they blew their account, right? So I'd be looking for something like this. So, but it is a buy setup that you want to take if you get it in the 4 hour chart. So, in my opinion, I'll clear all this off. So that's the possibility. If you get a 4 hour engulfing candle, that's my entry. And I want to see that 4 hour candle go. I want to see this 4 hour stack stay together. I don't want to see a 4 hour close below this level once we get that engulfing candle. All right. we get a close below this level, shut the trade down, and call it a day, and wait for Fed fund rate next Wednesday. And after that, go into trade mode. So it's pretty much where I stand on CAD. So I am looking for a bullish engulfing 4-hour candle to buy. And that is that. Aussie. Because we covered Aussie, right? And we were looking for that potential wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And you're struggling to, every time you come down here, it's like one impulse, right? It kind of feels like summertime trading, right? Where you get one little move per day and then it retraces that move. You don't get follow through on any move. And right, as much as I want to say it's summertime trading, you also got to be on point because interest rates haven't been this high in summertime in a long time. And you got all kinds of things going on. CAD cutting, Fed not cutting, right? So you're kind of in a different time than this isn't kind of normal summertime trading, but that's kind of what Aussie's feeling like. So we got to zoom out, right? Let's just zoom out Aussie. And what do we have? Right, bigger picture, we have this potential pattern to the downside that we've been looking at. I'll look at it. I'll show you one more time just in case you're viewing for the first time. But when we look at Aussie on the weekly chart, we're overbought our, let me go with the EMAs. Let me get rid of these quarterly pivots. Weekly chart, you're overbought running into your 89. And I mean, the question is, are you coming up to the 200 to break this top? And all of this is a flat, right? You're just making this, right? You're getting ready to come take top, getting ready to come up weekly 200. Or is all of this an expanded flat and we're getting ready, complete that pattern, and we're pretty much going to do this the rest of the summer, right? Are we going to do this the rest of the summer, grind back down to these lows, and then we get that impulse up for the flat right here? So we're on the weekly chart, and they are the two options. I know you're probably saying, well, you're saying it can go up or down. It's not kind of what I'm saying. You got kind of two different patterns going on here. But so what do we do? And when I look at this thing on the daily chart, right, you've got a double bottom down here off the 34, and you're struggling to go. And when we look at this thing on the 4-hour, right, you come up, right, you don't make a run of, this wave breaks the low, you're coming off the 200, but you come up, you don't take out these highs. All right, so then you come back down, you don't take out these lows, and you're playing around in this range right now. And this is starting to look like a B wave. So daily chart, what do we want to see? We know we're at a tipping point, and I want to see a C wave down, right? If I get a C wave down that looks like this, we now have a 3-wave structure with stacked EMAs bullish. If we get a bullish engulfing candle that looks like this, that will be my buy trigger. All right. And if you're a lower time frame trade, you can go into buys on the lower time frame at that point to come and take out these highs. All right. So that is where I'm at on Aussie. Now, we know we have the potential for that weekly down move. So what I would like to see for the weekly down move is very simple. I'm done playing around in the lower time frame because we're just chopping around. It looks like a messy B wave. What I want to see is a C wave down. I want to see the C wave take out these lows, these equal lows down here on the daily chart, and we drop down to 4-hour. It's this double bottom right here. If I'm going to sell, I want to see this double bottom get taken out. And after that double bottom gets taken out, I want to see correction. All right, I want to correct after that double bottom gets taken out. And then now we could be kicking off that weekly impulse to the downside. But if we get a bullish daily engulfing close down here, right? I drew the candle a little bigger, but if we get a bullish engulfing close above the 8 after a potential ABC on the daily chart, right? Now you can take this candle on up. So we'll have a couple traded. We could trade it both ways. I'm just waiting for a setup. So, and we just don't have a setup. I don't like this setup. And this is something I'll show you too. I'll show you with the parabolic SAR, but buy signals with after the market grabs liquidity is a much better buy or sell signal, right? If we come down here and market takes liquidity and then we get a buy setup after the market takes liquidity is a much better buy setup than when it doesn't, right? And you're not taking any liquidity. You're just playing around in this range. So you're waiting for that wave down and wave up. When we go back to dollar CAD, that's what would make this such a great trade if we get it. If we get a move down to the 200, it's taking liquidity, it's completing a pattern, and then we go up from there. All right, these buy setups here, you're not really taking liquidity. You're playing around in this range. It feels a lot of times before you go, it'll sweep down, take liquidity, and then go. Now, and then you could buy down there, or you could buy the first high or low after the break of structure that we trade in. We trade that all the time. So that's where we're at on dollar CAD. It doesn't mean that this can't go right now because we're bullish. We're coming off the 89, right? We're trending bullish. Our weekly's bullish, monthly's bullish, and this thing could go. So you're at the bottom of a cycle on the weekly chart, which is why you want to take this potential flat right here on the 4-hour chart. So if I get a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle, I'll be taking it on CAD, dollar CAD. So sorry to go back to that again, but my game plan on Aussie is I'm taking a zoomed out approach and I want to see this C wave down. If we do this, I'm not interested. NZD, we talked about it coming down for this 1 hour running flat right here. It did make that. So, and you had a buy setup. You're in that buy setup if you caught this 1 hour candle at 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So, and again, you don't want to see a close below here. So that was your last entry on New Zealand. Nothing doing on Euro Pound. And this is what I mean, right? Look at Pound, because you have a flat correction right here, right? You have a flat correction with an A, a B, a C in the middle, and you get an impulse up, right? And then you get a move down, and you can't even come break these lows. So you're struggling just to complete basic. You're struggling just to complete a basic flat pattern like this. All right, that's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to create a basic flat on the 1 hour chart that normally you would complete, and this would just come down here, break the low, and now you're coming off the 200 for that buy, right? So, and this is typical summertime trading, to where you get one little move a day, moves halfway, there's no follow through, and you're just grinding around. So we got to keep that in mind as well. It is summertime. Nothing to do on Pound. Because even if you're trading patterns, even if you were trading this for the downside, you can't even catch a C wave down, all right? So now you don't break the low, but now you're going up slow as hell. You're not going up impulsively. So you're just playing around. Market's just waiting. That's all it is. Market's waiting. Pattern-wise, we don't have too much pattern-wise. I will say this on Aussie, though. Let me come back to Aussie, and we'll look at Aussie on the 4-hour chart. And I'll go to the chart with no EMAs. 4-hour. If you get this tomorrow, right, because we got NFP tomorrow, and then we have Fed fund rate on Wednesday. This, it looks like we are consolidating, right? You're building out a flat correction. I'm not expecting to go anywhere now. And if we do get a move down tomorrow during NFP, I think you can go ahead and take a shot at a buy to finish out the day up here, right? And you're making a flat correction right here in the middle. So I do like that because I'm not expecting much trending to go on. I feel like the markets are waiting for Fed fund rate on Wednesday, and we could just be correcting like this for a while. So until Wednesday, you're just in sideways action. So, and this would line up with the pattern, right? So if we get a spike down tomorrow, down to your 4-hour 200, maybe a little below it, you get any kind of spike down, I think you could take a shot down here at your 4-hour 200 to go for this impulse tomorrow, and then I would just take profit tomorrow. So any spike down here, I think you can go ahead and buy for this impulse up, and we're just making that flat. Right, you're just making some sideways action. So that would be my trade. This would pretty much be my trade for tomorrow if I was going to take 1 hour and Aussie. It would probably be in like the 1 hour chart, right? So if we spike down here and then we close above the 8 down here in the 1 hour, you enter with a stop below the low. You're looking for this rip back up. All right. That is that. We'll cover some of these cross pairs. Pound dollars you want to see go right now. All right. So we were in this trade and we're on the 4-hour chart, and you want to see this thing go now because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing sequence. Now we're right at our entry price, and you want to see this thing go now. So if you are in pound dollars, you could actually just take your risk off you could take your trade off the table and just wait for your next 4-hour bullish engulfing close above the 8. All right, because you already have a 5 swing sequence. So you want to see this thing go. You want to see it go now. It should be done playing around, and this thing needs to go. So you could take this trade off, you could leave it, but you're looking for pound dollars to go now. And other than that, you still got your stop below this. Your stop is still below this swing low down here. But you want to see this thing take off. You want to see this thing take off now. All right, you're looking for that. We've done enough playing around. You got a flat, you got an A wave down, you got a flat in the middle, and then you got a wave down. 5 swing sequence. All right, and you're looking to go. So you are looking to go now. And pound Swiss, nothing, right? We're waiting on daily divergence or something here. We like this you're completing this running flat right here, and no signal yet though. So pound dollars, nothing doing, and that should about do it. I will say I'll cover dollars are right. If you're in dollars are still doing good. That should be about it. I mean, I'll get into one last quick thing, but I'll cover this a lot more in the weekly Forex forecast. You want to take a look. If you can trade your 10-year and your 2-year, we're on the 2-year right now. Daily chart, you just had the zigzag completion. You had an a B, and a C, high or low, and you're breaking out of this structure now. So you want 4-hour pullbacks, all right? You want 4-hour 34 Bs. This is the 2-year U.S. Treasury note. As this goes up, yields go down. And you can see you got a nice bottoming out pattern too. So there's your head and here's your shoulders. And this is our quarterly S1 down here as well. So 2-year 10 note looks really nice to buy, and this is one of our setups, right? So we want to buy the first higher low after the break of structure. So our first oversold 4-hour 34B we're going to take. So We're looking for pullbacks to buy in this, and we're looking for a continuation. All right. In that. And the same thing goes for the 10-year. All right. When you zoom out, you've got a nice daily chart, a nice kind of head and shoulders thing going on here. And you're breaking out of this structure. All right. We pull this structure, and you're breaking out of that now. So I think you could come after these tops in 10-year. So we want pullbacks. All right. When we go to the 2-year, I like the 2-year a little better. And feels like we're coming after these tops. All right. So you want your first oversold 4-hour 34B. All right. Especially if it's a 3-swing sequence or a 5-swing sequence. So, but I'll cover this a lot more in weekly forex forecast. If you could trade it, it's not a trade I'd be looking for tomorrow because I'm looking for a pullback. So that pullback could come on Wednesday when Fed doesn't cut rates. Maybe they pull back to the 34. We get an entry then. So we'll see. That's all I got for right now. If you got any questions or comments, just leave me a message. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit thumbs up. That's all I got. See you.